Too old to be young, too young to be old. Observations on generational battles from a midlife perspective. Ouch, that hurts. I've been pondering age this week as I watched the stoic, moving interviews with D-Day heroes and then observed Joe Biden staggering, confused and slurring in recent public appearances. Contrasting these with the coverage of young, passionate activists disrupting campuses or destroying works of art, or with all the young faces we see around us daily, eyes down in digital worlds, and the generational differences today can seem starker than ever. Yet another line of polarisation. With the exception of veterans and maybe presidents, respect for our elders now seems deeply unfashionable. And it's no wonder given how few of us mix outside of our age demographics. Co-harried mums, mine. We inhabit entirely different cultural silos, listen to different music, get our news from different sources, binge different dramas, use different colloquialisms, and admire celebs or influencers that other generations will never encounter. Many of these have always been the case, but never before was mutually exclusive by generation. All would have been vaguely aware of most major national or global celebrities when I was growing up. But ask my mother who Mr. Beast is, or a teenager who Jeremy Clarkson is, and they'll both just blink blankly. In the absence of knowing many, it's little surprise that older people are frequently derided by the young as out of touch, blamed for Brexit and Trump, high house prices, and much of our economic inequality. Until, that is, they age beyond being dangerous and inexplicably, patronisingly become cute. Simultaneously, young people are branded lazy, angry, materialist, or snowflakes in outlook by many elders. As ever, antidoters, neither are fair or accurate generalisations. Of course, the political polarisation of young and old has been well documented for generations. Why is it people typically move right as they age? And what does this mean for politics in a rapidly ageing world? Is it, as often assumed, that people tend to gravitate towards more self-preservationist politics for their assets, customs, or the social conventions that they fear are in terminal decline in a world evolving so rapidly without them? Or might it also be that their more extensive life experience provides them with more data points, experience, and realistic insight into human nature? Are conventions and traditions, experiments proven to work over generations, discarded at our peril? Or is tradition one of those words conservative people use to use as a shortcut to thinking, Warren Ellis, or the democracy of the dead, Chesterton? In a world that seems to prioritise lived experience over data and evidence, it's curious that the biggest proponents of this worldview, the young, can be so dismissive of the opinions fostered over decades-long lived experience. It is assumed that the passionate activism of youth reflects greater concern and empathy for the world. Yet, in his defence of respecting our elders at an Oxford Union debate, Rob Henderson quotes a myriad of research that consistently demonstrates that older adults are genuinely more ethical, more cooperative, and more trusting than younger adults, with younger adults displaying a greater propensity for deceit, manipulation, and selfishness compared with older people. On the question of wisdom, he comments, "The very fact that we can even ponder this question suggests that we live in a society of relative comfort, a luxury secured through the efforts and decisions of previous generations. Not all old people are wise, but almost all wise people are old." True wisdom is not just about making good choices, it also encompasses the ability to retain sound judgment across a diverse array of situations, especially unfamiliar or challenging ones. Only by respecting elders enough to listen to how they made their decisions, including concentrating on where they might have gone wrong, can we hope to do any better than them. And yet, now we fetishize youth. Case in point, Greta Thunberg, whose hero worshipping never sat well with me, and frankly struck me as exploitative. How, at the time, did we make a 14-year-old without a geography GCSE a figurehead for one of the most deeply scientific issues of our time, advocating simplistic policies that would have seismic economic ramifications for the poorest populations in the world? Quite how qualified she is on the complexities and history of the Middle East conflict at the ripe old age of 21 is another question. How dare you? Well, quite. Both old ageism and teenism are rife, but rarely get limelight from the other isms, beyond the odd conversation around whether car park app-only payments or digital natives-only job adverts are discriminatory. Groups of youths are watched suspiciously, banned from shopping in groups and frowned upon for hijinks in public places, whilst also told that they spend too much time on their devices. Where are they supposed to go and what else are they supposed to do but hang about in a country that's seen youth funding cut by 1.1 billion over the last decade? There's not even a high street to speak of anymore, beyond overpriced coffee shops, vape shops, and charity shops. Huzzah. Incidentally, the recent McDonald's advert capitalizes on this brilliantly. It's fantastic advertising. Many over 40s accuse the young of being lazy. Hashtag quiet quitting is trending amongst Gen Z and below to promote opting out of hard work. Because, as Eliza Philby, an expert on generational difference, explains, Gen Z have grown up in a time where work doesn't pay. Average real wages are now no higher than they were in 2005. They may have increased in the last 2 years, but as we know, so has the cost of everything else. Despite the fact that early career salaries now, whilst not bad in absolute terms, buy a lot less after rent and living expenses. Certainly, getting on the property ladder for an even above average earning 20 or 30 something is now near impossible without a bank of mum and dad. It's no wonder they're a bit bitter, not drinking the Kool-Aid or signing up in droves to emulate their parents' stressful lives. 40-something is an interesting vantage age from which to observe both, and to give both a bit more of the benefit of the doubt. The kids are all right. Many are friggin' awesome. They'll undoubtedly do much better with less smartphone time, with interesting updates on my explorations to come, but so are the oldies. They're just grew up in such different, unrecognisable to each other worlds. As with all questions of polarisation, the solution needs to involve more and quality societal mixing, more cross-generational conversations, more IRL community initiatives. To be honest, this was my hope for the recent Tory National Service Manifesto initiative, but its poor, rushed announcement and branding saw the community value of the civic applications sidelined by the furore over the military service elements. The potential for the former to not only build skills but foster community harmony by bringing people into regular contact with those of different socioeconomic backgrounds, ideologies, and age could have provided a powerful antidote to polarisation. Personally, in the modern battle between old and young, I'm genuinely not sure which side I'm falling on right now. I'm at pivot point. Or maybe not, Grandma. The Greta comment might have edged it. You tell me. Please, if you like Antidoters, do share it, forward it, link to it on a bloody social media site. As I get so many lovely text messages from people who enjoy different editions, and it's led to so many fascinating intros. But it would always be nice if a few more people were reading and listening to it. Thank you so much.